G'day, welcome back to my Oxygen Not Included playthrough here as we continue to store gas at this point. So, at the moment we have a whole bunch of gas that is still filling up, but as you can see here, the amount of natural gas that's coming up is starting to limit. This guy in here is really starting to just be limited to very small amounts of everything, so he's just really like vacuuming that room at the moment. This guy over here, you can see, is pretty much down into milligrams as well. So nothing going on there. And that just leaves us with our mate here, who could go for a while. So there's still natural gas out here to be gotten. And he should have access to all of this section as well. Like, it does still work its way through there. So, that one guy, but again, you can see that he's very, like, chippy in the little amounts that he's pushing. But, beyond them, I mean, the only other thing that we're getting it from is this little room, which also is a very chippy sort of amount going through. So, the idea is that we're just going to be creating a backup here that once that's full, that'll just max out here. That'll stop this guy from pumping, and that'll stop this from pumping. And the idea that the two of those things both stop pumping is completely fine, because it means we'll just accrue gas. This room can take a fair bit of natural gas. There's some polluted oxygen in there now too. But I mean, that'll get pushed out over there. How's that steam vent going for actually operating? It's just dormant at the moment. Okay. Apart from that going on, we have this guy still putting off steam. A lovely waterfall still working its way down from this top section and from over here. This guy is still doing his thing, giving us crude oil. Someone is starving. Ellie, why are you starving? You just haven't eaten for a while. What work did we have? It's been a while since I played. I don't quite recall if there was any operations in place. So they're going down there to do something. Is that just sort of work on? Now I realize as well that if they can get all the way down here, then it means that they can actually full loop. Or did I block this off? Yeah, so you can actually do a full loop, come in one exit, go out the other. All three, actually. If you can come down here... Oh no, is that just an up? Go up that way, but you can't come back down. Okay. Alright, let's have a look at our rockets. It's been a while since we've been able to give any focus to them. So he's going for his max 887, and he has that. That's all good. And he has no contents in him. So we want to get that corrected. So if we go down to... Now that we're sort of a bit more on top of things, I think we can allow this to open up. So we will say reset amount, and we'll let 400 get pumped through there. And you can see we've got a little bit of a backlog here. Tiniest bit. I mean, this one's got nothing. This one's got we are about to clear that all the way out. Just curious, so the liquid pipe contents at that end's going at 34, and at this end is at 21, so it's still operating at a temperature that's not going to kill that aqua tuna, but surely that's going to break at some point, but not become a problem yet. I thought I made this... Alright, we're going to make a rule that no one needs to do that anymore. Once you two guys leave, then that's that one done. Water still isn't overly full, but I would imagine that it's going to start to... Well, what's happened to that guy? He's got no power consumers anyway. Or is that the case, or is that just because he's got nothing? It genuinely has no power consumers. Okay, so let's deconstruct that guy. More steam. Steam just disintegrates for ages. So let's have a look at research. How close are we to the end here? Still going with that guy. I know that they changed the rules about the way that the this map works, but I think I might have got lucky and finished that before they changed the rule. Yeah, it does look like I did. One thing that we were looking at was coal. We're back to 18 tons of coal, so that's a... It looks like the northern lights here, the way this chlorine is just sort of rolling through the oxygen and carbon dioxide. The other thing I still haven't done is sort of like tried to commit any time to auto sweepers. I'm sure that really matters too much. Time this is all taken, you can see we've had another guy almost completely fill. It's nice to see. How are we looking for natural gas coming through? So we occasionally have a big chunk. We're hitting the issue that we've had occasionally where we've got so much oxygen that it becomes a problem. You can see this one here. It's just really slowly chipping through. Now, I guess in part it looks like because of the way that I've got that connecting, it's operating as a give way sign. So it's giving way to anything that tries to come through. So it is just this real sneaky steps in. So maybe what we should do is deconstruct that gas bridge. And then we'll just replace it with a normal one, because I think that going as like a one-for-one sort of exchange is the better way to go. And I don't really need to make those other two igneous rock, but... And just want to make sure it is flowing the correct way. And that feels a bit more efficient for that guy. So at this end, it's a bit more constant. And it's just that those... It doesn't push through like a solid square of oxygen, so as those sort of first ones come through, it still sort of like moves, I guess, a little bit better. A little bit. It's amazing how fast we can just become overloaded with oxygen. How's this guy going? He's already done. That's nice and efficient. So let's change that to 500 and say reset. So if we go up to our rocket, we should see have 400 in there. I don't know if we'd actually got anything going for this guy. Oh, we do have 400 steam in there. What's the maximum he can hold? Maximum capacity is 900, so let's go back and get 500 steam in there too, and we'll get both rockets going again. Obviously, he's our one that's just so much chippier and slower, but we'll get there. Don't know if we should be doing something with this crude oil. I should be connecting that back to anything. Like these guys. It feels like if I was to say put its own refinery up the top here, that wouldn't be enough to be sustained by a single refinery. Still gaining more coal as well. We're up to 20 tons now. I wonder what some of these things even do. That I've never had to really, like, worry about at all. Here's a thing. I bought um, a bundle on Humble Bundle the other week, and included in it was a copy of NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, which came out a few years ago. I already own a copy of that, and I have no friends that are interested enough in basketball and gaming as a combination that they want it. So if you have watched, what's this, 10-ish minutes into An Oxygen Not Included, I consider you some of my most hardcore viewers. Anyone out there, if you want a copy of that, just send a message in the comments. First one, first in, best dressed for that. I'll figure out a way to pass the key on to you. And yeah, all yours. Let's dig out the top of this, because we might need it soon. May as well get someone working on it now. Now I needed to... Good, okay, so I've got that switched there for this. And actually that switch there is for this. That is so much easier to make sense of than what I've got going on over here, where every single time I forget what which does what. Salt water's really come as a thing that's not really been needed for anything at all, has it? These guys are still doing their thing. How are we looking down here? I do wonder if this little pocket of gas isn't included in this area. Maybe what I should do is ask someone to dig out that one square. Well, they can't even reach it. Alright, don't worry about it, fellas. Alright, so that guy's not pumping, which means that we're even... Like, we're maxing out on the amount of oil that we've got going up. Which is some sort of miracle based on how much water we've got that is about to flood those lines. I do think what I want to do is try and fill these sections with just tiles to is obsidian what comes down here? Igneous. Okay, so it's igneous rock down here. So to keep this easy, let's go igneous rock. So let's say we dig out these two here, and then we say put square there, 2 squares there. I'm definitely going to forget that this is a thing I'm doing, but let's try and push oil out of this section and get it up. Now, because of where this guy sits, I feel like I could cut off party section here, as well. But I don't know if I want to do that too quickly because it'll open the pocket of air this guy's exposed to. Although I suppose that's not too big a deal. Alright, let's just say dig that whole row out. Did anyone even get down here? No. Okay, so I blocked that off. So, let's go put it there, and I'm going to reverse this first. Or do I want to come down here? Let's dig from this point here. So that one. Sort of dig a path in, and then what I'll do is I'll it means that a whole bunch of this oil will come down here, but then what we'll do is we'll build tiles to sort of push it back up and out. Like a reel. Just basically to get all this extra oil down here that otherwise it's just sitting in spots that are never going to get gotten to. I want this one built, and then I'll build two, like a set of stairs that they can get up to dig that out. Try and push, and then we'll start from the top and push this way. So let's put 2 tiles there as well, and 2 there. And then let's say dig those 3 out, and I'll get them into there, and then we'll push out from this back as well. So we'll say 1 tile there. Now, like I said, something I expect to fully forget about, unless someone is really gung-ho about this, like Ashcan here, and it gets that done. I'll keep looking at this and like it'll be built, and I'll come and look at this and think, oh, you know what I should do is I should push all that fuel out, and then I'll go like, all right, I did start doing that at some point. Well, you can see what we've done here, at least, is we've exposed a whole lot more natural gas to this guy. So hopefully we make something of that. Are we starting to get capacity up there? Not mad if we are. Yeah, we are. Beautiful. So I don't know if that means that what we should do is build more gas reservoirs. But I feel, why are you overheating? Quite hot down there, isn't it? Let's deconstruct this guy with absolute priority. Copy him, and we'll make him out of the less likely to buy gold. And we'll just check another emergency on that so we can get him back and going. Now, I'd imagine that we must be pretty close as well to our friend, this guy being done. So he's hit his limit again. It's good to see. Hopefully that means that the get those back to being full. This guy's still not doing much of anything, but we've also completely killed our no. Want crude oil be our exception. Double check. Good. Okay, so We can ask Meep. Get into that one. Let's just jump down. I'm curious to see if anyone did get to these. Cool, you can see that they are working on that one. Obviously, they can't get through there, which is why they're not doing anything for that. What we can do is we can copy this one and just say... that. Now, hopefully, I'm not doing this incorrectly, and what will happen is when I place these squares in, they actually push up the crude oil. They don't just sort of, like, destroy it. I mean, if it did, it'd be a really interesting way of just getting rid of stuff. It's definitely a habit I've used to try and isolate and then destroy gas sometimes, but... ash canister. There you go, cool. So you can see that that did shift liquid. It seems like Ashken's made this his like personal mission to get this task done. I mean, there's so much igneous rock around that they actually do move pretty quick about getting this sorted. Fast as he can do it, I go back and he heads back up top and does the next wave. Kick this into triple speed, and then if they're going to be down here doing it, you just come to watch. So basically, that's now blocked that to a point that, like, we can go any more than that. They won't be able to move through. That section's done. That one. They've also dug this out. I realize that they can't actually get to that one square, so let's dig that out to a point where they'll allow them to get to it. Actually doing this is an incredible efficiency. It'd be because there's so much igneous rock just right here that they, even one guy going on their own can actually do this at a masterful speed. Point that I'm so determined to not forget about this. Let's try and get as much of it done as we can. As well, I want to get that. I'd love to have rip this up as well to allow it to sort of not have this lip here. But I mean, I actually realize it doesn't matter. If we can cement this all the way to here, then it means that that's still rolling downhill towards this guy. Nighttime now, but that's moving quite nicely. Alright, how are we looking on top here? Good. So we can flick this switch. Check that Meep is side. Check the star map for this guy. So that's where he last visited. Steel, copper, glass. It sounds like some interesting stuff. Can we get there? I mean, obviously, because above it says too far for distance. So let's go that one, and let's say rocket go now. Path blocked. Right. Okay. Now if I go back to the star map, click that guy and say make rocket go now. There it goes. Just automatically closing themselves, are they? This capacity is still just chipping away up again, as Steam does. See, someone back down. Depth's doing their thing. Beautiful. I do feel like some of this I'm just going to actually be destroying oil or something. Like, I feel like the one to keep an eye on is this water up here. Like, if this water runs out of room, does it actually continue to sort of use this pressure to push as hard as it can back against this? Or does that water just disappear? Oh, that was not what I expected. I assumed it was just going to take me to the thing at the top. Well, I would, okay. I was thinking that was just going to take me up to the guy to let me sort of pick what next wanted to grab. A not person, please. You can see that that oil is still getting sort of pushed along. I mean, that water is starting to, like, remove the gap of... Like, there's now no sort of, like, space in there for that. But it's about 5 squares that that water's taking up. Whereas now you can see that water's taking up 4 squares, and I imagine that quite soon it's going to take up 3 squares. So, that makes me wonder if this is actually just going to be... Yeah. Oh no, it sort of pushed. It makes me wonder if this is just going to be destroying that oil as opposed to actually pushing it. Very hard to tell. Somewhere like this where, say, that air pocket carbon dioxide didn't disappear. I mean, what's the maximum density of liquid? Is it like 1,000 per square? Yeah, okay, so that down there is, say, 900, whereas this sort of up here is 800, so I guess there is some density that can then push into. How's this guy going, actually? Let's ask that question. Cool. So you can see as well, this room is starting to get a bit more natural gas in it. Now it's only sitting at, you can see, say, this carbon dioxide out here is sitting at about 18 kilograms, whereas this is sitting at 500 grams, which means that it's not a, like, the room isn't going to be completely blocked, but it will sort of gain some, and this is sort of going to push stuff at every second attempt. With this guy also getting backlogged, which is absolutely perfect. That's basically what we want this to be. This feels like a setup that's got a better chance of surviving through when this goes dormant in 58 cycles, which is a long time. I mean, alternatively as well, we could create a much larger bank here and put in a whole extra few more. Would that be worth it? Maybe. So if we were to do that, what we could do is just extend this out by, what, 3 on each row? What was this made of? Made of iron, so it does feel like that's going to like cost me a bit. So if we go one to there, second one there, third one would be in the way of that ladder. It's an annoying inconvenience. It's just one too small. Cables could run behind it though, so if we say did that, and then we copied this and ran it across like this. Think about this bottom level here, because we can't go... I mean, is that door needed? I don't think that door is needed, is it? Like, you just walk along the bottom, so we can deconstruct that. Say copy and just go... And we can put in an order to dig out everything else that anyone can reach in this section. And we can also option a roof. The problem is, depending on who works on this faster, someone like Stinky could get stuck halfway up a set of stairs here. Because, say, someone destroys these ones without those ones yet being made. So, Turner says you can't find food. We can't find Turner. Just having a long day. Because they haven't eaten today, really, is the only thing. Cancel that one. We'll put these two in. Those three in. When we think of it and we're down there, we may as well. That done. Still waiting for the return of this guy. Do I leave that open? Is it safer to assume that it... Not quite sure which option is currently selected there. I didn't think that I'd locked it. See, our battery is really consistently jumpy there. So we'll also put in the order to so deconstruct buildings and get rid of those walls. I got rid of those walls nice and quick. See, yeah, I have concerns that they're not going to bother building these. I suppose what they could do is they get up this ladder to here and then hop up there, climb and jump or something. Just want to keep an eye on them to make sure they haven't got themselves stuck here. Actually, what we can do as well is we can tell them to deconstruct that row. That row doesn't matter either. And we can deconstruct... Well, I suppose I shouldn't deconstruct any of the ladders until this main ladder is built. Okay, there we go. So that ladder is now built. So we can say deconstruct those, deconstruct those. That one can stay. That bottom piece can stay. Deconstruct those, and those, those, and those. And then we'll put one in there. Then we'll say, copy him. Go 1, 2, 3. So what I think we'll do is it'll just be a similar layout to what this currently is, but we'll extend this along. So you can see that this runs to this guy. So it'll be that this, what are we using here? Granite. So basically, won't connect it just yet, but this will run all the way to here. Then up, up, then that guy to there. This guy runs all the way along here. This guy all the way along here. So there's plenty of work still to be done with that before we worry about getting... Wow, they're getting on those quick, actually. Real power building. Alright, that'll be us for today, though. Just not too much going on there. One rocket in the air, and a little bit of expansion. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. And until next time, catch you later. See ya.